And welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you 5 of my best tips for tomorrow's racing, which will also include my nap from the Dublin Racing Festival. Now, before we get into them, quickly just want to go through a couple of things with you. Now, if you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the latest episode of the In the Saddle podcast, where this week we were previewing the Dublin Racing Festival. It's myself, Mark Karosky, Paul Callahan, and as our special guest this week, we had Grade 1 winning jockey Jonathan Moore. He was talking about his chances on Leopardstown, and also as well a horse called Vanillier, which he rides for Gavin Cromwell in the first. He was quite keen on his chances at a big price. So if you want to listen to it, we've got all the major podcast platforms covered, including the likes of Apple, SoundCloud, Spotify, whichever one takes your fancy. Just make sure you hit one of the links in the description box below. Also as well, quickly just want to reflect on our tips on how they performed today. Now, in the end, it was quite a sad day, to be honest with you, as our Nap Starfighter was a very fortunate winner in the end for Mark Loughnane, because he looked like he was booked for second place. And Lord Halifax of Charlie Fellows, I thought he might have been just wandering around, he might have been idle in the closing stages, but it turned out he lost his action, and as a result, unfortunately, he lost his life. So yeah, really sad to hear that news. Charlie Fellows revealed the news about an hour after the race. I saw some people saying what's happened, but yeah, unfortunately, I think he had to be put down. So yeah, really frustrating there. And I always hate it when that happens. It always leaves a bad taste in the mouth. I remember a few years ago I backed, I think it was Guitar Pete in the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup at Cheltenham, when it looked like Starkitect was going to go and win. And I was on Guitar Pete, you know, and it was just a horrible feeling, you know, when you're seeing a horse that looks like they've got the world at their feet and they're going to go win a race, just break down like that. It's horrible when those things happen, and especially as well when you're on something as well, you feel like really guilty, especially as well when you're on a nice price. So yeah, it's just never nice when those things that happen, but unfortunately it's a part of racing. But yeah, my thoughts do go out to Charlie Fellows and everyone associated with that horse. But yeah, it meant we did have a winning nap at 11-1 with Starfighter. The other selection came at Catterick. That was Palexandra for the England team. Ran a good race in the end, finished in second place. So we were able to keep the each way money there and got a little bit of profit back on it. So yeah, not a bad day, but yeah, just scarred by the fact that we lost Lord Halifax, who, as a result, our horse was fortunate to pick up the pieces after he went wrong. So yeah, that's how we did today. But yeah, we're going to go on then for the tips for tomorrow's racing. Like I said at the top of the video, we've got 5 of my strongest fancies, and like I said, my nap is going to be coming from the Dublin Racing Festival, and that's where we go for the first tip of the day tomorrow. We go to the 210, the Irish Arkle, and my nap here is going to be Franco de Port for Brian Cooper and Willie Mullins. Now, this horse, you can currently back him at the time of recording, which is just before 7 o'clock at 10-1. I'm going to recommend a 1 point each way selection here. And I don't understand really why this horse isn't second favourite in the betting. I think he should easily be a 4-1 chance, you know. And I think people are just discrediting him for his win last time out, when he won over the course and distance at Leopardstown, and he won the Grade 1 2-mile novice chase. I think a lot of people really knocking him for that run, where I thought Brian Cooper gave him an excellent ride. It was a bit of a messy race, in fact. You had Felix Desi went off like a scolded cat, you know, went off really hard, and in the end, for those sitting out the back, it was just a blessing in disguise, and Franco de Port was the one that, like I said, he did pick up the pieces. Leopardstown was in that race, and Johnny Moore in the podcast was explaining like how he went and he chased the pace, and as a result, that's probably what paid to his chances. But I still think Franco de Port was a really worthy winner, and the way this race might set up tomorrow, I think there's going to be a lot of pace on in here. You've got Energamine, who I understand is favourite. I can see why, with Willie Mullins' record in the race, you know, and also as well his impressive win last time at Nace. But in my opinion, I think he should be more about a 7-4 shot on what he's achieved so far. But you can see with the hype of Tony Bloom and Paul Townend, it all kind of fits. But yeah, on RPRs, I think they achieved the same rating, Franco de Port and Energamine for their last run. So maybe there's not too much to separate them. And also as well, Energamine, every time he's run for Willie Mullins, I believe he's made the run-in. So it might be a shock to the system tomorrow if they do try
and settle in back in mid-division, because there are, like I said, going to be quite a few pace setters in here. You're going to have Felix Desegi, if I can say that right. He'll be going off hard. You've also as well got the likes of Unaccepted, who likes to be handy as well. You've got Captain Guinness. There's going to be quite a few in here that might just want to get on with things early, and it could just set up for the closers. I think it could be a last man standing kind of situation. I think Johnny Moore said he was going to give Dava a bit more of a patient ride. He would be the one I'm scared of, but I think Franco Deporte jumped really well last time, and we know he can handle the course and distance very well, and I think there's still a lot more to come from him. He was a province novice hurdler, but I think he always looked at the typical racing cliche, a chaser in the making. The rain that's fallen will also as well be up his street. I just think Franco Deporte shouldn't be the price he is, and I'll be disappointed tomorrow if he doesn't finish in the frame. So at 10-1, I'm really sweet on his chances, and that's why he's going to be my nap of the day. We then go to Sandown for the 220. The Cotswolds Chasers, we're going here for my next best of the day. Now, they are going to be having an inspection in the morning. They passed the one this afternoon, so fingers crossed they do get the green light, because this will be a great race to watch. But I think I found a bet in it, and it's not going to be a particularly original selection. But I think Santini here at 11-4 is a little bit overpriced in my opinion, and I'm going to recommend a 1 point win-only bet here. Now, I can understand, again, why some people might not like Santini. You know, he's not the most straightforward of horses. A lot of people would have thought he should have won at Aintree when he just lost to a Lakeview lad. But the way the race unfolded with the taking out of the fences, I don't think that would have suited him, and I don't think Aintree is his track. You know, he really wants a great stamina test, and he's going to get that at Sandown tomorrow. He'll love the testing conditions. Also as well, he's won over the course and distance before. Okay, I know he just scraped home that day, but at least we know he can handle the course, you know. And also as well, I thought his run in the King George last time was a credible effort on a track that would have never suited him. And I know a lot of people going, oh well, Bristol de Mai, you know, he's coming in here off a break and fresh. He did the exact same route last year. He didn't run in the King George and came straight after his run at Haydock, you know. So yeah, I think he shouldn't be favourite Bristol de Mai. I think Santini should. I think they should be the other way around in the market. I think Santini should be around about 7-4 personally. But yeah, I think he's got a lot of things in his favour tomorrow, Santini. Native River will probably take him along, but not sure where we're at with him. I think he ran a fair race at Aintree, you know, and he wouldn't have liked the fences being removed, you know, because jumping is a major asset. But I just wonder, to some younger legs, could he be possibly a little bit vulnerable? And Tizard's team, okay, they did have their first winner for a while the other day at Wincanton, but are they really in that good form? I don't know. So yeah, I think Santini for me, I think he is a bet at 11-4, and that's why he's going to be my next best of the day. I'm really confident Aidan Coleman can get the job done for Nicky Henderson. We then go up to Musselburgh with my next selection, where we go to the Scottish Champion Chase. It's not a proper champion chase in the fact that it's a graded race, it's a handicap, but it looks a competitive handicap on paper. But I thought Return Ticket here really stood out. I've been really impressed with him this season on a couple of his runs, including when he won here over the course and distance back in November. He's £6 higher for that win, but I still think he's got a really good race in him. He's trained by Rebecca Menzies, and champion jockey Brian Hughes is booked for the ride tomorrow. You can currently back this horse at 8-1 at the time of recording. That price was available with Bet365, and I'm going to recommend a 0.5 each way selection here. Now, last time we saw him, he ran a respectable 4th place over 2.5 miles at Musselburgh at the New Year's Day meeting, but in the end just bumped into a really well handicapped horse of the Skeltons called Ronan D. Sanam. But also as well, I don't think necessarily the trip would have suited him that day. I think over 2 miles he's really effective, and he's more of a speedster, and if Brian Hughes can give him a handy prominent ride tomorrow, he jumps really well. I think he could get a few of these off the bridle early, you know, and they could be struggling, you know. I'm expecting a good, strong pace from the get-go, and I would like to see Return Ticket ridden patiently. So, yeah, a lot to like, I think, about his chances tomorrow, despite carrying top weight. I think if he replicates his run like he did at Musselburgh or goes in a similar fashion, I think he'll at least make the frame. And I think at 8-1, that's a very backable price there, and that's why I'm going to recommend him as one of my extra tips of the day. We then stay at Musselburgh again for another extra tip. We go to the Edinburgh National, the 3:45, and I'm going to put up St. Xavier here for Will Kennedy and Richard Hobson. Now, I nearly had the winner of this race last year with Chic Name, who was also as well trained by Richard Hobson. That one gave me a couple of nightmares, as Warren Gretorex's horse, name escapes me now, but he's going to be running in this race. Picked us on the line. I think that was Bob Marler. But yeah, this horse, St. Xavier, I think he's, again, got a lot in his favour tomorrow. Now, yeah, he's been a bit of a hard horse in his last few runs, but last time out at Kempton, he showed a better attitude when he was up there making the run in that day, and he ran a good race to finish in 4th place in a decent field, you know. He was beaten by Double Shuffle, who had some good form behind the likes of Royal Pagay, and also as well Captain Ord, so I don't think that was a bad race. Also as well, he was dropped £1 for that run at Kempton. He's now down to a mark of 137, and I think in a field of this nature, I think he can go really well, you know. Also as well, another thing to note about him is that he started the year off a mark, or his chase career off a mark of 150, because he had been running over hurdles for David Maxwell, you know, where he's shown a good level of form, but probably would have always been better going back over fences, and as a result was a bit high in the weight. So I like the fact he's come down now to a workable mark, and I think over stamina trips, especially going this way round a speedier track, I think that's really going to suit him, you know. I'm hoping Will Kennedy can get a good prominent ride. Richard Hobson as well is a really underrated trainer in my opinion, and I just thought St. Xavier had a lot in his favour tomorrow. At the time of recording, you can currently back him with SkyBet at 15-2, or offer him 5 places on the race, and I'm going to recommend a 1 point each way selection here. I'm really keen on his chances to go very well tomorrow. So that's St. Xavier in the 3:45 at Musselburgh. We then end with our long shot of the day in the 3:50 Leopardstown Ladbrokes handicap hurdle. Now Charlie Burns obviously has got a great record in the race. He's won the last few renewals, but yeah, if he wins again this year, probably could be a bad story for Athan. Who knows if he did go and win it. He's got Advanced Virgo at the top of the market. And it's obviously a race he likes to target, but I'm going to be putting up here as my long shot in the 3:50 at Leopardstown. Tiger Tap Tap for Danny Mullins and Willie. Now this horse you can currently back him at 20-1 with bookmakers at the moment. That was available with SkyBet, who are offering a mighty 7 places on this race, and I'm going to recommend a 0 point each way selection here. Now Tiger Tap Tap has been a real head scratcher for the punters, you know, but I thought his last run at Leopardstown was quite eye-catching. He was out the back for the majority of the race, and they played him late that day, and he ran a respectable race, I thought, to finish in 6th place. That was in a decent handicap hurdle behind Master McShee. He was running that day off a mark of 132, and the handicappers interestingly kept him on that mark. You know, I do think he has a big handicap in him. The rain also as well wouldn't have hindered his chances either. He's won on heavy before, so again, I think that will suit him, and if they can give him a similar ride, I think he could go very close. That was also as well his first run after quite a bit of a break, and I just wonder if that latest run at Leopardstown might have just sharpened him up a bit, you know. And looking at some of the quotes in the past about Willie Mullins has said about this horse, they've always thought highly of him, and they do think he is well handicapped off 132. So yeah, he's a bit of an enigma, this horse, but I just think he was quite a big price in this field, and I think he can build on that run last time out. He's still only 6 years old, you know, so there could be a bit of life in him yet, considering he's had quite a few starts now and been around forever. But I just thought Tiger Tap Tap tomorrow, he might, like I said, he might step forward, and I could definitely see him going close in a race of this nature. So that's why he's going to be my long shot of the day in the 3:50 at Leopardstown. So let's quickly then wrap through the tips. In the 2:10 at Leopardstown, in the Irish Arkle is going to be my nap of the day. That's Franco de Port, 10-1 each way. We then go to the 2:20 at Sandown. If it passes the inspection there, the next best, Santini, 11-4, 1 point win only bet. In the 2:40 at Musselburgh, return ticket, 8-1, 0.5 each way bet there. In the 3:45 at Musselburgh, we go St. Xavier at 15-2, 5 places Sky Bet, 1 point each way. And then in the last race, or the last selection for us, is in the 3:50 at Leopardstown, the long shot of the day, Tiger Tap Tap, 20-1, 0.5 each way with Sky Bet, who are offering 7 places at the time of recording. So yeah, they're the 5 tips for tomorrow's racing. Let me know in the comments box below what you fancy to run well at the Dublin Racing Festival, and what other horses you'll be backing. Look forward to reading those comments. Also as well, if you're enjoying these videos, please remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my YouTube channel here at Lucky Loaders 15 to watch out for more videos. Also as well, if you want to follow me on social media, the best place to do so is on Twitter, where my handle is at LuckyLoader15. And if you want to know a little bit more about myself and my career in racing, my website address is www.chrisloaderracing.co.uk. So please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have some winners tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.